As I've already shared previously in this course, I think that the various components of the writing process are actually quite different. So when I am approaching any type of writing project, whether it's working on behalf of one of my clients or doing something for my dissertation or even creating a blog post for my own company, I'm going to they're treated as, essentially 4 distinct steps. 5 is the final step. That's actually sending your work. That usually comes for me right after I've completed editing. So I consider it to be 4 steps, but I'm going to break down for you what this means on a day-by-day writing schedule. I might actually be working on 2 or 3 projects at a time during a given day. So I might be working on 2 things for a client, and let's say I'm also doing something for my personal blog, but I'm doing that individual phase of the writing process together. So for me, when I'm writing for my blog, or whether I'm choosing a section of my academic work I want to work on, or doing something for a client, the first phase for me is selecting the topics or the section of the work. As I approach my freelance writing business, I have to choose the topic titles for my blogging clients. So it's my job to come up with relevant topics that can be discussed. So I will do all of that together. If I have to produce 3 or 5 blogs for a client the following week, the very first thing I do, I'm not writing at all. I'm actually choosing those topics, and then I might save those ideas and I might refine them. But I'm going to do that during one particular day. Usually on a Thursday or a Friday, I will select all of the topics as I am thinking about moving forward to the next week. The next phase of the process is research. So I might do this, if I did my selection of topics on a Thursday, I'll do my research on a Friday. That's me gathering all of the relevant resources that I'm going to reference when I am involved in the writing process. This is distinct from selecting the topics or the sections of my writing piece that I want to work on. If you're a novelist, for example, your research might be simply fleshing out an outline. But this is where we're not actually writing. It's in between choosing what you're going to work on and doing the actual writing process. I call it research because that's what I'm doing most often. I'm gathering all of the tools that I need to do the writing process. And for me, it's on a different day. You could also do, maybe in the morning you select the topics and in the afternoon you begin your research process. I find that for me, breaking this into different days of the week has helped a lot to catch mistakes and to refine my ideas. A topic I may have selected yesterday in the light of a brand new day may not be that great, and I may update it and change it. So the third day is the actual writing process. Now I call it recording and uploading because I'm going to tell you more about how I use recording and voice speech to speed up my writing process whenever I can. But this is the actual meat and potatoes. This is where we're actually writing. We've already selected the topics. We've already done the research, whether that's gathering the resources we need. It could be academic papers you need. It could be resources online that back up the claim you're about to make in a blog. It could be writing the outline of what you want to cover in a chapter that you're working on for your book. And now we're in the actual writing process. So we're doing all of the writing work together. We are asking our brain to focus on one singular task, and that is writing. So now we're on day 4. We've essentially done 4 different processes here to get to this point. And day 4 is editing and verifying. I love spacing this out into individual days, particularly because of step 4 here of editing. I don't like to sit down and write a blog post from beginning to end because 1, it's really ineffective because I'm asking my brain to jump all over the place, and 2, I'm more likely to make mistakes or write things that seem great at the moment but then after the fact aren't. By putting your editing process in a separate day after you've had some time for ideas to gel, you come back with fresh concepts and you're more critical of your own writing, so it's easier to edit. And then, as I shared in the beginning of this video, editing and sending are often the same for me. They're the same process that goes together. You may space that out if you're working on a really big piece and you need 2 passes of editing to verify that you've done the right thing. But these are essentially at least 4 different unique processes that I like to spread out throughout the course of the week. Now, I don't do this Monday through Thursday, of course, because I like to get a lead on the week that's coming. So usually I will select topics on a Thursday, I will begin the research on Friday, and that means I've got those 2 days to continue thinking about my ideas and determining whether or not they're the right fit before coming back on Monday and doing the actual recording or the writing. Breaking it down into different days gives you the maximum brain power at a time because you're only asking your brain to do one thing.